an opponent as you could ever ask for. I mean, for this karate dog or otherwise. How about the King Koopa of Bowser, controlled by LeoN in Loser's Final? The stakes are clear, Skip. Winner goes on, loser goes home.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but right now it's definitely I would say in Vivi's favor, just because of the fact of how much raw damage Lucario can put, especially at those higher percentages. Like, yeah, you're gonna get your heavy attacks onto Bowser, right? Not to run a dead joke into the ground, but as soon as Bowser starts hitting you back, I mean, you kind of turn into like a super heavy with the way that you hit. So Bowser still has to respect you, and he can't hold shield as effectively because you. Oh my God, that was incredible!
Speed kills Skip, and you have to be able. Look. Against a character like Bowser, you don't exactly want them accumulating rage either. You got to be able to put your neck out there. These are two characters that are absolutely dangerous at high percentages. And Vivi, realizing that, going down below, you know what? I can fight just a little bit better in the air than you. I might not have wings, but I got these hands. And LeoN learning that the hard way, getting drawn with the first blood in this best-of-3 clip.
My goodness, Vivi's just going absolutely off right now. And not only taking that first stock, but putting 100% plus on the second stock of LeoN. LeoN finally finding a way to even it up just a little bit. But man, at already 122, that back air's not quite going to take that stock. You got to keep in mind, all the aura is gone from Lucario. It's going to be a while before they get that back. So until then, you're like a bottom 5 character.
I don't think Vivi minds getting hit around all that much. It's like, okay, you know what? If you want to make these hits just a little bit more powerful, that's cool with me. And maybe this is where Vivi starts to get a little bit worried because you're getting bounced off of the stage. However, the counter punch in the middle of the air, this is looking like a shonen skip. What in the hell?
Yeah, this is actually kind of insane. Just absolutely taking advantage of Bowser's big body, especially with that aura sphere with aura in effect. But this is one of the things you got to be careful of. Bowser does have a command grab of their own. But while they do have a command grab, so does Lucario. So, I mean, I know LeoN likes to hold shield every once in a while. Oh my goodness, just building up that damage. He does have to be able to respect what Vivi, pressure they put down because they could get caught up in a side beat of their own. But there we go, finally getting that stock out of the way. You get that aura out of there. You get to feel a little bit safe. But the way that Vivi plays, like you mentioned, they don't care if they get hit around a little bit. That just makes them stronger.
Oh, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to piss Bowser off, but going to get a linear recovery, but a recovery nevertheless. However, maybe made the timing a little bit too easy for LeoN here, who just throws the fist out there and drops it. You better bow and pay your respects to the king.
My goodness, man. And that is why you gotta give the respect to LeoN, man. LeoN has been a worldwide warrior for a long time, right? And it's because of stuff like this. Like, you could be dominating them the entire game, but at the end of the day, Bowser still has a bit of a comeback factor of themselves. And it's like you mentioned earlier, it's called fear.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. If you are, it can be a staring contest against this Bowser, but you cannot afford to blink. And I would not necessarily say that Lucario has blinked in this particular matchup, but man, aside from all the heavy attack stuff and the ability to go down, they were not able to go down below the ledge. They were not able to leverage that quite as effectively as perhaps they would have liked in that game number 1. So now, dressed in black, as if for a funeral, it may well be the final dirge for Vivi in this tournament, unless this Lucario has something to say to the King Koopa.
Well, I mean, hey, I know that the game was pretty dominant for Vivi the whole way through, but I mean, like we talk about Lucario all the time, kind of having that factor where they start to really explode as the percentage gets higher. LeoN kind of thrives in that same thing because he knows that his opponents are going to want to get in on him as best as possible to try and close out those stocks, right? So they get a little too aggressive, and that might be what Vivi's trying to bank on as well. But right now, LeoN not doing too bad. Vivi not doing too bad either. There's definitely a pretty solid first stock there, but the back here will clean that one up. 115 now. Vivi's got to put a little bit extra work to clean this up.
I mean, doing really well until he got drop kicked in the chest. I'll give him that. But the spot dodge coming out from LeoN, and yeah, just employing those so well as if reading Vivi's attacks. And yeah, this just comes from a little bit of studying, and Vivi needs to be able to mix up the timing. Force Palm going to help get LeoN in disadvantage, but a quick recovery back to the stage. Vivi not able to challenge that ledge. Now at 150%, needs to be able to close it out, and indeed does. 58% is where they're going to sit at the start of LeON's second stock. Vivi needs to get themselves on the board. It seems like they have the pieces, but they need to be able to put them together, Skip.
Oh, these combos are so crisp. I know LeON ended up getting the final say in that little string there, but regardless, man, Vivi's been doing so well, just getting these grabs, right, and just converting into like these landing nairs, and just getting all these follow-up hits as well. But 89 to 83 right now, second stock scenario. You got to be careful getting the grab there for Bowser. And all right, what's the call here? Ooh!
Oh my, just putting them in the washing machine. LeON ain't gonna take too kindly to that, throws a brick in it while it's spinning, and now just like that, Vivi on their tournament stock. And you have to respect the cleverness with which Vivi is approaching this, but the stocks just do not come too easy when you're fighting a body as big as Bowser's.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. See, you see that Bowser's at 120, right? And you're seeing Vivi get a bit more aggressive here. Granted, they've been playing pretty aggressive, but you're starting to get a little careless with it because you're trying to close out the stock as fast as possible.
The fair! Off the ledge! Challenging the aerial ace in the air. The ace loses to the king, and LeON is in grand finals.
That's exactly what I was talking about, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You see Bowser at the high percentage, right? And you're like, okay, I have to close out the stock. You get a little too aggressive. LeON checks you, right? And you're like, ah, man, I got hit. I'm starting to fall behind a little bit more. I gotta get aggressive again. I gotta close out the stock. And it just continues to build up over and over until you get into a scenario like that where LeON takes advantage of it, closes out that stock, closes out the set, and now is potentially gonna be getting the revenge on Jackal. But we'll see what Jackal has to say about that, because that was a pretty swift 2-0 earlier.
Yeah, you got to think that LeON's been thinking on that. It's, again, the Wolf-Bowser matchup, so volatile, as you would expect it to be. Vivi doing quite well, showing out for themselves and placing third in this tournament. You got to wonder if perhaps they're going to heighten their expectations going forward and thinking, you know what, maybe I can take on some of the best that Tri-State has to offer. If I can go toe-to-toe with LeON, it was a 2-0, but you know that LeON was sweating just a little bit. Was able to figure it out, but I would call that set far from easy. The score does not always tell the truth, does it?